Okay, League of Butterflies. We want, this is going to be, oh, oh, did I not do it? Here we go, the fear factor. Okay, I did not do it. This is copy everything. Copy, and then paste it here. And then recopy that. Copy, and then paste it here. There we go. Share to your group. League of Badass Butterflies. Here we go. We are going live, and all right, we've got, this is nice. Here we go, and we're going to make Rebecca my co-host. Make co-host. Perfect. Okay. All right. Rebecca, I think I've got us live on Zoom. Hold up. Here we go. Yes, I am live there, but I do need to, let me get this volume turned down, and then let me get this open so I can see the comments and see who's here. All right. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to, welcome to day 5. Okay, this is a bonus day. Welcome to day 5 of the Activate Your Divine, Fierce, and Wealthy Life Coach Challenge. My name is Crystalline Bell, and I am a master spiritual life coach and worthiness advocate for women. And I'm excited because we've been talking all this week about really stepping into that dream, that purpose of being a certified spiritual life coach. I'm really excited that you all are taking this seriously and thinking about like how you can really step into that powerful place so that you can become the high priestess for your tribe, and most importantly, so that you can fulfill your divine life purpose. Your soul called you here for a reason, and making the decision to honor that can be obviously very fulfilling and very satisfying, and it can bring you tremendous joy. However, we also know that it can be a little bit scary, okay? I remember when I first made the decision to follow my heart, and I know that I've told you all about stepping into this work, particularly as a spiritual life coach, but I want to tell you another perspective. So this is slightly different. So yes, for me, becoming a certified spiritual life coach and being of service to other people, it is definitely my divine life purpose. But another aspect of my divine purpose is living in France, okay? Now, I want to tell you just a little bit about that and why I feel like this is, why I know this can be very scary and daunting for you all. First of all, can you, if you're on Facebook, check in with me and type in hashtag live or hashtag replay. Now, if you want to come on camera today, we're gonna open up we're gonna have a group talk, and we're gonna talk about our fears and doubts around this work. And so if you're bold enough to join me live and to actually use your voice, you don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to, but if you do want to put your camera on, you'll be welcome to. We're going to do that in just a few minutes. But if you want to come on the Zoom call, Rebecca will put the link to the Zoom in the comments so you can come and join us in the and participate in the conversation using your own voice, and maybe, if you're bold, being seen. Okay, so I see that Leanna is here. Good morning. And Gloria. Hey, Gloria. It's nice to see you. And Gloria, um, are you going to come on Zoom? Because it's always a pleasure to have you. And hi, Jew. Good morning. No, hey, good morning, Jew. Good morning, my little night owl. Oh, you're not staying on, Gloria. Okay, no problem. All right, good. Thank you so much, darling. And Lottie is here. And yes, Lottie, I'm her. Excellent. Thanks, y'all, for joining. I appreciate it. And Rebecca, again, we'll put that Zoom link in the comments for you if you want to join me. So when I was young, I had a passion for France. It was a passion that came because during World War II, my grandfather served and fought in World War II. And after the war, he was stationed there with his wife and children, my grandmother and my aunts and uncles, and of course, my mom. So when they got older and they moved back to the United States, the thing that they loved talking about was their time spent in Europe. They lived in Germany and in France. And out of all the talks, their talks about living in Bordeaux and drinking red wine, and like there was just something about the way they smoked cigarettes and did wine in France that even though I was a kid, it really just drew me in and made me absolutely passionate and determined that I was going to get there. And there was also a lot of attraction being a Black woman in France, this kind of idea that that jazz and Josephine Baker and Eartha Kitt and just watching all these fabulous Black people speaking French just really excited me. It turned me on. Okay, I'm just being straight up honest with you. And even though this was decades after they had made life in Paris exciting and fun and so interesting, but I was intrigued nevertheless. So I made the decision when I was 32, so this is 20 years ago, I made the decision that I was going to go to university and finish my education at the American University of Paris. And it was $40,000 a year to attend university there. And the idea was to go there and just follow my heart. Okay, that's how it was in my being. I'm following my destiny. And when I told my family, my very practical dad said, yeah, but what are you going to study when you go to university? And I said, I'm signing up for the Western philosophy class. And he's like, so how is that going to make you money? And I'm like, I have no idea. I just know that that's what I'm doing. And he's like, so you're going to be there for 2 years. You're going to invest $80,000 in your education, and you have no idea of what kind of job you're going to get to help you be able to pay back that money. Like, how do you think that this is going to work? And I said, I don't really know, but it feels like the right thing to do. And so that was really challenging on so many levels because there were so many people looking at me. There were a lot of people that were looking at me going, yes, do it, go for it, because they were living vicariously through me. But then there were also people who were looking at me saying, there she goes again, irresponsible, spending a bunch of money she doesn't have, getting herself into debt. And I feel myself being triggered right now by all those objections to what I was doing. And, all the kind of thing about you don't know what you're doing, you are making a mistake, and you're going to fail is ultimately what they were saying. And the problem with that, there's so many problems with that on so many levels, y'all. But the biggest problem with that is that, number one, fuck them, they were wrong. Okay, I'll tell you what I fucking did with that philosophy degree. I'm a fucking spiritual philosopher. Hello, writing every single day about my spiritual philosophy and teaching people about it. Hello, just saying, that just occurred to me that yes, I talk philosophy and I teach you all philosophy because I'm a philosopher. Like when I went to university here in Paris, I started using my mind very differently and seeing the world very differently. And getting that Western philosophy degree, even though it wasn't an Eastern philosophy degree, it was a Western philosophy degree. A lot of those Western philosophers were religious philosophers, you know? And so I learned a lot about religion and became more spiritual and became even more tarot oriented, more metaphysical, because all of a sudden I had all this incredible philosophical background, and I learned how to think and how to ask questions and how to challenge myself in ways that I wouldn't have. So, so here's the point. Okay, here's the point. I know I got very excited all of a sudden. I'm kind of like, hey, you know what? Fuck them. I fucking made it work. You know, I did that. The point that I'm making is that there, if I had not followed my dream and I had done it the way my parents wanted me to do it, number one, when I was doing what my parents wanted me to do, I was 80 pounds overweight. I was in a relationship that was absolutely destroying me. My hair was falling out. I was depressed. I was angry and definitely not living my best life on any level. It was a horrifying life experience. And the moment I moved to Paris, I instantly dropped 50 pounds. I'm talking, I did no dieting. Okay. You know, the Paris diet, you know, wine, croissant, butter, steak, you know, steak and fried potatoes. Okay. Lost 50 pounds on the Paris diet. Okay. And got an incredible education, learned how to speak French, learned how to step into my divine feminine power, my sexuality, coming alive and absolutely blowing everybody out of the water, including my dad, who looks at me today and says, you know, I remember when you were young and you used to counsel me. And I'm like, you always gave me the best advice. And today, to this day, my dad looks at me and says, you know what, you really know what you're doing. And I'm like, this is really nice. So my point of telling you all this story is that you have a feeling, a desire inside you to do something that feels real to you, and you have a vision. And yes, you can, okay, look, you have a vision and you can go you can go the hard way and like try to figure all of it out yourself, or you can get yourself some assistance and come into some kind of a mentorship and get some help. Okay. If I had tried to figure out spiritual philosophy on my own, it would not have been nearly as I don't want to say it was easy, but as rich of as an experience as it was by me coming to Paris and absolutely working with the best, you know, the best fucking philosophers on the continent and listening and learning and being immersed in this intellectual work. Okay. So, you know, and it grew me. It grew me as a person. My point is that your divine purpose is going to grow you. It's going to grow you as a woman. And you can hide from it. You can shy away from it. You can shrink from it. You can deny it. You can act like it doesn't matter. You can act like you're not good enough. And these are all the things I want us to talk about today. But that is not going to help you. Taking the attitude of fear and listening to the objections and running your life by everybody else's objections, that's not going to help you step into your power. You're going to step into your power by saying yes to your calling and then going for it. And here's the thing. you take every opportunity that comes your way. Don't shy down or back away from opportunity when it's coming. And when you do shy away from something, realize that that's showing you something about your own uh, uh, fear. I have an allergy to fear, mind you. Okay. So when you see your fear coming up, don't back down. All right. When you see your fear, go toward it, run toward it. You know, when I was making the move to Paris, well, I'll tell you. First of all, I made the decision to move to Paris, and I met with the counselor of this program, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be $40,000 a year." And I said, is there financing? And he says, yeah, we got financing for you, no problem. So in the back of my mind said, I told myself, all right, I'm just gonna pay, get credit for it. My mind was made up. Nothing was going to fucking stop me. What was really most interesting is that bad boyfriend of mine. Okay, he was really naughty. Okay, the man was cheating on me every single day of my life, of his, I'm sorry, every single day of our relationship. The man was unfaithful, and we were together for about 5 years. No wonder I was 80 pounds overweight with my hair falling out and an absolute mess, acne, just a mess. um anyway, he so I told him, we were living together, I told him that I'm moving to Paris. And he's like, trying to convince me not to go. And I'm like, you know what? We might as well enjoy our time together, because I'm out of here in 3 months. I'm not leaving beforehand. Like, let's just figure out how to be, polite. And we had a good time together. And he's like, hey, let's go to Vegas. And I'm like, hey, let's do that. And uh, okay, look, I had probably, this is how my life went at the time. I had $1,800 in my bank account. And I said, I'm going to spend $1,000 in Vegas, because I'm going to just go, create a miracle. And I'm going to double my money. Watch, I'm going to come back with $4,000. That's what I said to him. And we laughed, So we went to Vegas, and I'm watching, my boyfriend go down the tubes. He's down probably $6,000. And I'm down about 500 of the 1,000 that I was supposed to, I told myself I'd play. And so interestingly, I looked at my boyfriend, and I'm like, I'm not responsible for him, and I'm going to get away from this bad vibe. So I switched tables. We played blackjack. That was our game, and loved blackjack. Still do. I don't play, but I still just loved it. So I went to another table, and I sat down in the first position. Okay. And I start getting, the dealer dealt me a 20. So all I had to do was sit there. Okay. So my $25 chip was doubled. Right. And so I put another one chip out there, and I got another 20, then was doubled. I got another 20, put another chip out there, got another 20, it was doubled. And that went on for a few minutes, or for several hands. And the man sitting next to me said, you do realize that you're on a run? And I said, I don't even know what that means. And he says, you realize you've not lost a hand. You should be, he says, I would be putting all the money out there and letting it build. And I said, okay, because I didn't have that much money left. I'm like, what if I got to lose? Let me go for it. And obviously it was true. I didn't lose. And so I put more money out there and more money out there, and I kept winning. It was, ooh, I can feel the emotions. Ooh, this is what happens when you follow your purpose. My boyfriend and I, or ex-boyfriend, okay, we were in Vegas for 2 days. And in 2 days, guess how much money I won? Y'all, in the comments, type in how much money you think I won. Let me check in and see who's still here with me. But yes, tell me how much money you think I won in 2 days sitting at the blackjack table. Rebecca says 20K. Nice, Rebecca. I like that number, Rebecca. Thank you for that. That's good. Come on, anybody else? Let me check on Zoom and see if I've got any feedback on Zoom. There's a bunch of chats in here I missed. 10,000, Kim says 10,000, that's a good one too. Y'all, look, you know, okay? Look at Crystalline Bell and say, she is a master manifester, because what I took away during that weekend was 40,000 US dollars, $40,000, the exact amount of the first year of my schooling. 100%. And yes, Kim, thank you. That was awesome. Yes. Ju, you were close. 33, no, 40,000. So my point is that when you feel aligned with your purpose, nothing can stop you. Okay. And that is what I wanted to bring you all on to talk about today. This is why we're doing this roundtable. Some of you all are going to be on Facebook, and then some of you are going to be on Zoom, and that's perfectly fine. What I would like to maybe help you all address is, what objections do you have to you becoming a certified spiritual life coach? And I'm even going to open myself up and say, what objections do you have to working with me as your mentor? And the reason I say that is because I am here offering you all tremendous guidance and support. And I know that I am qualified, and I know that you know that I am qualified. But there's still something that holds you back from reaching out and getting the support that you might desire or might need, or that I can for sure provide. All right. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up the table for that. Now, if you are on Zoom, and oh my God, Kim, I didn't see that note, but I didn't realize you have a BA in philosophy. That is so cool. So we're going to talk about that. That is very awesome. Now, look, if you're on Zoom, you have the option to leave your camera off if you don't want to be seen, okay? Because my stuff is public. So if you don't want to be seen, you can turn your camera off. And if you even want to change your name, you can change your name. That is perfectly fine, right? But if you're on Facebook, I want you all to type in your answers for me, all right? Okay, so if you're on Facebook, why don't you go ahead and start off by telling me your primary fear of kind of leaping into becoming. Actually, here's the question that I have. Here's the question. What stops you from hanging out your open sign right now and saying, hi, I'm ready, and bringing in your clients? Like, what's stopping you from filling your calendar with clients who are paying you what your program is worth? Okay, go ahead if you're on on Facebook, and if you're on Zoom, I'm going to invite us. I'm gonna put us into gallery mode. I think we're in gallery mode now, and I'm going to unpin my own thing. And so let's hear from, I have Kim and Delisha here. So I'd love to hear from you all to learn, like, what's stopping you from filling up your calendar right now? And whoever wants to go first or wants to contribute first, just go ahead and unmute yourself. And I'm going to keep my eyes on the Facebook chat. Here we go. Kim.
Hi, Crystal. Can you hear me?
Wait, hold on, y'all. Sorry, just a second, Kim. My bad. I had the volume down. Okay, here we go. Kim, are you there?
Yeah. I'm kind of a mess. I put my face on here, but I have no makeup or anything this morning. But my biggest barrier right now is, for one thing, maybe stability, because I live alone. I have no one to support me, and so I'm debating on going back to getting a regular, real 9 to 5 job, or jumping into this. And also confidence, because I've been through so much that has really taken away my confidence in myself. Like I told you yesterday, dealing with a narcissist can really make you feel like you're nuts, because like, how did I get sucked into that and sucked in over and over again? And I'm a smart person, you know what I'm saying? A good person. So that's been really my biggest challenge.
Yeah. So what I'm understanding, you said a couple of things. You said you're alone, and so you don't have support. You're doing everything by yourself, right?
Yeah.
And you also said that your the self-confidence is missing from going through a lot of hardship. Yeah.
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 And see, I
Yeah.
had my own real estate business when I met my narcissist, and ended up that went to shit. And so that was, I had put myself out there then. So it's kind of hard. I mean, it's really easy to have a job where you collect the paycheck.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at, trying to decide, because I would prefer to work from home. I really don't want to have to be on someone else's schedule. I'd like to be able to travel and work from wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
Like my daughter's fixing to go to law school at Penn State. I'd love to go up there and stay with her a few months out of the year, and be able to work from there. You can't do that when you're in a 9 to 5 or regular job,
Yeah. And is your passion for being look at your cup. Is your passion for being a spiritual
stay wild, moon child. Huh?
Is your passion for being a coach? Do you have a passion for that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I do therapy. I mean, I went back and got my master's in marriage and family therapy. So I've worked with people. I mean, I'm very good one-on-one. I've done group therapy. I just feel like, if I could take that, because since I'm not licensed in my degree, you can't hang out your own shingle, but I can definitely hang out my own shingle as a life coach.
Absolutely.
And a lot of therapists do that.
Well, it gives you tremendous freedom. And, being a coach gives you tremendous freedom. So I think the starting point that I want to kind of explore with you is the self-confidence. Okay. And I think that one of the issues that comes up for many women, particularly when you start getting over the age of 35. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm 52 now. And one of the things that I noticed was that I contracted. Like there was a part of me that was like super expansive, going out into the world, going out.
Right.
But something happened around the bad boyfriend and around a bunch of other bad boyfriends and some things going wrong, where I started getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I completely hear you around your self-confidence being shaken. Now, what I would maybe also suggest is that what you're experiencing with the lack of confidence and, because of the narcissist, as we talked about yesterday, this is an excellent starting point for a brand new coaching business, right? This is an excellent niche. And the question that I have for you is, Kim, do you feel like your soul brought you here to deal with this narcissism, particularly? Like, is that like, do you feel like this is a part of your soul's core wounding?
Yeah, my dad's very much a narcissist, and I didn't know that growing up, but I look back and I was married before. My first husband was not a narcissist at all. I mean, sometimes I think because I met my second one around 2010. I ended up going back to school in 2012 to get my therapy degree. I started studying astrology because it was all me trying to figure his ass out.
Yeah,
And
sure.
now I look back on it and I feel like I was meant to meet him.
Yeah.
And maybe I was meant to go through all this because
Yeah.
it's made me a lot more humble. I mean, I can just deal with it. I mean, I can relate to other people's pain,
Yeah.
like in my therapy job. I mean, when I was working at the mental hospital, I work with suicidal people. I mean, addicts. I mean, just everything. And I always could connect to anybody because I'm very humble. I've been very humbled by all my experiences. So yeah, I think it's all kind of been a long, winding road. And then I don't know. And then these past few months, like I told you in my thing, I quit my job in December with the intent on studying. And I don't know if it was Mars retrograde or what. And my progressed moon, I mean, that's astrology talk, but my progressed moon's in Pisces. I've been really tired. Saturn moved into Pisces. I'm still really tired. I'm trying to get my energy back. I've been depressed over the past, I've kind of allowed myself to sink back into the rabbit hole, but not desperately, and I've just been being really patient with myself. I'm like, you know what? I've always landed on my feet. I feel like a cat with 9 lives.
Yeah.
I'll come back. So right now I'm just trying to decide exactly what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because I'm 55. So I'm right there a few years older than you.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have a lot of time to waste. So I've got to decide exactly what's going to be my best path forward.
Yeah. It's beautiful, actually. So to me, it sounds like this is a great opportunity, and you and I can talk privately, obviously. And but what I would say for you, and this is what I would say for anyone who is experiencing that kind of that debilitating kind of energy where it's hard, like, maybe, I don't want to say that you're lost, but there's a period where you can't necessarily find your way out. Okay. And this is where you need, number one, tremendous faith. Okay. But also you need a fucking plan. You need a plan. And the plan can help bolster the faith, right? And if you can get help, then you definitely need help. And this is for everyone. If you are feeling low vibrational energy, you aren't able to pick yourself up, you have to get help. Whether it's getting audiobooks, getting up and watching YouTube videos every day, making your own healing plan and strategy and following through with it, right? My healing plan, like I told you all yesterday, what I use for my clients is light work, shadow work, and healing. Create your own self-healing plan. But look, here's the problem that many women fall into. It's super feminine energy that has gotten into that kind of rock bottom place where it's like, I can't really do anything for myself, okay? Because the emotions are so dense. I'm sad. Every time I look out the window, I think, oh, I'm going to go out for a walk, and then something holds me back, pulls me down, right? That is an imbalance in the divine feminine. And yes, shadow work and healing are going to be helpful, but here's the problem that most women face. They will not get up and just do it. Sometimes you need this thing called discipline. And I see a lot of women coaches who are like, yeah, women, we don't need discipline. It's mean, it's harsh, and it's bad, it's masculine. Actually, sometimes you need both feminine stuff and masculine stuff. So what you do is you say, hey, at 1 o'clock today, I'm going outside whether I want to or not. And you discipline yourself. I'm taking 10 steps, then I'm coming back in. It cannot just be, I'm going to be in this shadow work, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. Feeling my feelings, crying my tears. That you cannot only do that and expect to pull yourself out of the hole. I understand that you think that spirit is going to do it for you, but the problem with spirit, okay, I don't mean it's a problem, but the problem with spirit is that when you're in a low vibrational state, the spirit you're attracting is the spirit that feeds the low vibrational state. So you find yourself in this low vibrational state and you're like, I'm grieving the loss and I feel the loss. And the spirit of loss is coming in and embracing you, and you're embracing it. And you're like in this love affair with grief and loss. So this is when you need that left brain to activate and say, look, you can be in loss for 2 hours out of the day. You need to be in active, putting things together for 4 hours out of the day. You know, this is how you start to work with the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And it's okay. Okay. We're not mad at the patriarchy for making us talk about discipline. We don't need to be mad at them about that. What we need to do is take what works about it and apply it to our lives so that we can move forward. Does that make sense, Kim?
That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Because one of the other things that you said, which was really interesting, you started off and you says, well, the problem is that I'm not supported. I'm doing stuff. I live alone, right? Which is
financially is what I meant by that, because I don't have a spouse or anybody. I have to pay all my bills. Yeah.
And do you identify as a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, I don't have a man to support me. Okay, this is just your subconscious mind telling us what's missing for you. So I'm not saying that you need a husband. What I am saying is that the feminine in you needs support by the masculine. The masculine needs to be activated in you so that you get some structure, and day to day, this is what I'm doing today. We're about to make things happen. The feminine, I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see what happens. It's going to come. It's going to come in its own divine timing. Masculine is like, we're going to make this happen. What do we need to do to make this happen? Do you see what I mean?
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I understand that you need the financial support too, but remember that what you're experiencing in the outside world is a reflection of what's going on in the inside world. So if you start off and you're like, I need financial support, what you're telling me as a spiritual life coach who reads energy and looks below the surface, what you're saying is you need some divine masculine energy to be activated in your life so that you can, number one, create the financial support, but maybe also call in the man. I don't know. I don't know if that's interesting to you, but there might be a man also that comes along, just saying. If it does, let me know. All right. Okay. I hope that's helpful for you, Kim.
Oh, it is. I mean, just even just being here is helpful.
Good. I'm glad.
You know, so I'm not sitting because I've spent a lot of time alone these past few months, but I needed it. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't regret what I've done. You know, my whole family's like, "When are you going to get a job, Kim? You said you're only quitting for a couple of months. You need to go back to work." And I'm like, "Have I asked you for any money? Then leave me alone."
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I only have
Exactly.
so much, you know, my savings will run out. So I've got to make a decision here. So, I mean, yeah, and it's not necessarily because I have supported myself for the past 4 years by myself. So it's not like I need a man. It's just kind of what I meant was when you have a spouse that has income coming in, it's a whole lot easier to jump out in a coaching field where you may not get paid for a while as opposed to just going back to work, you know.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
yes, and that 100% makes sense on the 3D level. And again, as a spiritual coach, our job is to deal with what's on the 4D, 5D,
Right.
2D, 1D level so that we can, activate a better 3D experience. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, my advice is going to be, let's bring in some masculine structure and some masculine goals and commitments and whatever men be doing, whatever they be doing, get up, drink a cup of coffee, listen to some Tony Robbins, go for a run, dude. All that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
Well,
Kim.
thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. And you're beautiful. You do not even need to put on a stitch of makeup. You're like, I did not put on my face. I'm like, you don't even need a face. You got a face. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Excellent. Now I'm going to see what we've got on Facebook. I know that Jew is there. I don't see I have anything typed in. Okay. So you all on Facebook are doing just fine. You don't have any objections or anything holding you back. Then let's just go ahead and talk to Ms. Alicia, who's here. Alicia, are you going to come on camera? There you are. You're talking.
You're
Hi.
here in my car.
Hi. Yes, this is fantastic. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Sorry, I
Yeah,
can't keep my eyes on, but I'm almost to my destination.
that's okay. It's no problem. No
Just enjoying
problem
my
at all.
commute time, so that's why it's a little bit hard to engage sometimes.
Yeah, that's okay. So where are you, by the way? What city?
I'm in San Diego, California.
Oh, how's the weather?
It's kind of overcast and sprinkly. It's been really weird lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I read that they're still having flooding somewhere in California. Like, is it actually that much rain going on now?
Not right now. It rained
Okay.
yesterday a little bit. We had some
Okay.
sunny days and overcast, a little rainy, but
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well, it's a
Alicia,
pleasure being here.
yeah, thank you. And so tell me a little bit about tell us a little bit about kind of you're already a coach, am I right? You're already a coach.
No, I'm an occupational therapist. So I
Oh,
work in the
okay.
schools with special needs kids, helping build tools for them to be basically successful, whether it's like academically with like tools for self-regulation and attention organization. So kind of on that level. But I also have had my own spiritual walk of as a healer. I'm also Reiki practitioner level 2 and do sound healing as well. And I've been really wanting to delve more into those gifts and offerings. Before the pandemic, I was able to do like monthly sessions, but then that studio closed down. And I also, it was tied to my ex who had like a big fallout divorce before. So, it was a lot of kind of taking a step back to heal and kind of turn my world upside down for a little while. And so it was retreated a lot during that pandemic. And also just through the process, I don't know how much you know about twin flame energy as well, but my partner who I'm currently with, I believe to be my twin flame, it brings up a lot of stuff when you're mirroring with someone else. It's definitely been the
Absolutely.
most challenging relationship, but it's helping me to grow and like seeing the parts of myself that
Yeah.
like that I need to integrate better and heal. So I feel like I've been doing the shadow work for many years.
Yeah.
And just, I
Yeah.
think that's the part sometimes feeling like whether I'm in the position where I'm ready enough to, go back there. But I feel like wanting to maybe, take this step back out of like my comfort zone, or where I'm feeling now, having done a lot of the work, and be able to kind of go back to some of these offerings that aren't necessarily going to help me kind of rebuild that part, that connection, and then kind of work into doing more of like, I don't know, coaching type principles, where it's maybe more smaller sessions or one-on-one, but like being able to do some of the, like the healing sessions, the sound or the energy work, and then start. And the ideas I have is wanting to kind of build like a not necessarily a curriculum, but for lack of a better word, like a framework to kind of help guide people through their own integration process.
Yes, I love it. Everything you're saying sounds absolutely delightful and fun and doable. So what stops you?
I think sometimes just feeling the time crunch, like I have my, regular job, and finding the time. I'm still working a lot on trying to continue like the self-care aspect and routine. So making myself a priority too, with the extra time that I have, and then trying to, carve out time that I'm like thinking about next steps for things that I want to bring in, as far as kind of this other business aspect, and trying to kind of juggle all that. And my partner actually, she moved here from Mexico for us to be together. And so she's been also, she also is like a yoga practitioner, Ayurvedic practitioner, studying to do like acupuncture, massage, and has her breath work stuff too. So I feel like something combined that we want to do as an offering, and being able to put together a plan.
That
But
is
it's
so
just like
sexy to me. I'm
trying.
sorry. I love that. I think that is just hot. Like
Yeah.
two lovers, like bringing their spiritual self together like this. I think it's wonderful. So yes.
That definitely was what kind of, I don't know, focused on our connection and building into something more, just seeing that passion, that sense of wanting to, that offering of service, and like, wanting to connect over that and build something on that. That's also kind of ignited that passion as well.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, I feel like a lot of it is the timing too. It came out of this COVID period. It was kind of like this big pressure cooker, but kind of like, made us go really within and like process all this stuff. And like this week, I feel the energy has been super intense with this lunar eclipse that we're gonna have, and Scorpio. Just like, it's been bringing up a lot of old stuff and these patterns that I'm like, thought I've been working to extinguish, but I know it continues to come up, to readdress it. So I don't know. I feel like if I can just, integrate that and into my own personal life, and continuing the path that I'm on with the self-care, and like wanting to maybe start small with just coming back to some of those offerings that I used to do, to kind of build up again from where I am now in this new life.
Yeah. Yeah. So if time is really the only issue, and I love how you said, you've got that regular job, which is I'm assuming it's like 40 hours a week, something like that. Do you have to commute yeah, you have to commute because you have to work with people. Yeah. Okay. So I said 40 hours a week. That's probably more like 50 or even 50, 60 hours. I mean,
the commute? Yeah,
yeah, with
that's
the
not too
commute.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. Now, one of the things, this is kind of interesting. I like that you just said it. You said self-care, like you want to take care of yourself. You don't want to sacrifice yourself as you go in pursuit of starting a business and working a job and supporting yourself. One of the things that I learned for myself, and this may not feel true for you, but it was certainly true for me, is that ignoring my divine calling and my passion was not actually self-care. Following that was a big step towards self-care. Even though it was work, like my soul is, and I've got one of those souls that must be satisfied. Like, if you don't satisfy me, I will make your hair fall out. If you don't satisfy me, I will push you down the stairs. You will know that you are not following my directives. It's going to be a very hard wake up call that you're going to get. So for me, honoring what I'm called to do is a part of the self-care. And one of the things that I've also noticed about being a spiritual life coach and being a spiritual entrepreneur is that my job is to pray. My job is to meditate. My job is to connect. My job is to not watch Netflix. My job is to walk. My job is to yoga. My job is to eat organic food. My job is to drink all the water. You know what I mean? And I don't, like, I never talk about self-care because it's not an issue for me, because it's integrated into just being, right?
Mm.
And I want to encourage you, Alicia, to really see what it feels like to not see pursuing your purpose to become a coach and to set up this incredible business as another thing that might take you away from taking care of yourself, but maybe look at it as a way to take care of yourself, as being the outlet for taking care of yourself. So I have a number of women who are in my program, and they work and they have children. And these women in particular are really good with how they spend their time. So they have a full-time job, and they have kids, and they have a spouse, right? And what that means is, like, how in the world are they able to keep up with my program, right? But what I noticed is that they have an attitude of, I'm on program time now, and I'm not doing anything else, right? So they focus on that program, and it's a joy. No one's ever said to me, oh, this is like such drudgery work. I can't stand what we're doing. Like, it's not that kind of work. It's extremely fulfilling. There's the healing aspects, and then there's the creative aspects, and all these kinds of things. I think that when you're taking a particularly masculine approach to building your business, I think that could be very difficult. I think that could be hard. Like, if you were just focusing on the numbers, or you were just, buying a gas station, and you had to figure out how to get your inventory and get the employees paid. I think that would be a very different type of business building endeavor. But I think that a lot of what we're doing and the way we do it, yeah, you got to sit down and think about your ideal client. You have to think about what they need, but you already do that, Alicia. You're already a specialist in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is more kind of reframing the thoughts behind it, because I feel like I have to be in this exemplary role where this model, like the self-care, I totally agree. It should just be part of my innate being existence that I'm doing for my own, but since I don't know, I feel like I got into a good routine. I was doing really well for a while, and then I kind of had some setbacks, or, got sick. And I don't know, there's this weird expectation that I have of myself, that I have to kind of be in this exemplary role for people to look up to me, to see, like, to buy, or I don't know, to feel that like I am someone worth listening to.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's also a common objection. Like it's almost like a little bit of imposter syndrome where it's like, if you're not walking the walk, then why are you trying to teach people? Or, like you have to have your stuff together. And I don't want to say that I disagree with that, because I do think that we need to hold ourselves to high standards. I do. And I like being held to a high standard. Do I always meet those high standards? Hell no. No. But do I do my best? Absolutely. And does the desire that I have, and the great offerings that I have, and the correct guidance that I give people where their lives are changing in spite of me being imperfect, does that somehow negate what I've created and what they're receiving? Absolutely not.
Yeah. I think
So
there's also that gentleness or that compassion that we show for ourselves, that we're all
absolutely.
on different stages of our own path. And there's still things that our own experiences and knowledge that benefit others, just no matter where we are in our own path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like how you said that you could reframe your thoughts around this. So my question for you would be, how would you reframe your thoughts around this? What would you think instead about this, about you?
I think it's just having more of a compassion or acceptance, or being more gentle with myself, of knowing that I am doing the work. It's not going to look perfect, but there's still a lot that I can offer and still do. There's still that motivation. There's that.
Alicia, are you there? Rebecca, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
And be able to offer.
Thank you. Alicia, we lost you for about 20 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I don't know which part it left off on, but I was just saying, just being more gentle or with myself overall, knowing that I have many gifts that I want to share, even though with my job that I feel like I do get to give back and help a lot, that there's this calling of these other gifts that I really want to share and express that compel me forward to continue to do the work. And that's really, for me, really worthwhile.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. I think that's beautiful, and a really wonderful way to look at yourself, and as you're moving forward here, because I already know you have so much to give. I can feel it, and I can also hear it from everything that you've said. What you do already. So yeah, you would make a badass coach. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, ladies, I want to thank you all for.
Unfortunately, though, I'm going to have to get going. I just got to work.
That's okay. We'll see you later, Alicia. No problem. No problem, darling. We'll see you soon. And to everyone else, I want to thank you all so much for participating with me today and bringing yourselves. I want to thank you, Kim, for showing up. Thank you, Alicia, for showing up. Thank you also for turning on your cameras, which was very brave. Thank you so much for that. And yes, I want to encourage both of you all to say yes to your purpose, because obviously you have a lot to give. And the key is just to figure out how can we get you there? Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much, Kim. All right. And thank you all for on Facebook too. I know you all didn't give me any feedback to, oh, Ju just typed it in. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just now getting it. Ju says, I'm already working as a spiritual mentor, but I'm not charging money nor presenting myself publicly because I don't have certification. So I feel out of integrity, although I believe I'm doing good work, but I crave further training that would assure I'm doing the best work I can. I wonder if the next step is to just go for it, present myself, accepting more clients and accepting being paid, as that might create momentum that would allow me to pay for the certification. Number one, I think that, yes, Jew, here's what I think here's exactly what I think. You are a spiritual life coach. You don't need any certification. Okay. You don't need my certification. You don't need anybody's certification. Just do your work. Now, here's what my certification offers. Okay. It is going through my program and learning things according to my standards and what I've put out in my curriculum and according to my philosophy, okay? There's that. But here's the other thing that my certification involves, which you might need help on, which is the business building. Because how do you take your ideas and get them out to enough people so that you are making enough money? One of our lovely attendants just now, I think that it might have been Kim who said it, you know, how am I going to start making enough money? It might take a while before I start making money. Sure. While you're in my certification program is 10 to 12 months, depending on how you go about it. I would expect that you should start making money at month 8. All right. So could you make money before? Sure, but I'm not really prepared to teach you how to make money before unless you do my accelerated course, which we could get you making money in 3 months. Okay. We could get you and your business set up within 3 months, and that would move you forward into this work. Okay. But my point is that for you, Jew, the business building might be something more important, since you already feel like you are a spiritual mentor and you feel like you already have the transformational programs created. Just go for it. You know, just put yourself out there. That's what I would recommend for you. And I recommend that for somebody who feels like they have it. But here's the only problem I have with that is, depending on what you want for yourself. Now, I am someone who really desires to be successful financially in the material world. I expect to, you know, make a minimum of $100,000 a year. You know, I'm growing my business to be an actual, an actual enterprise. So I do expect at some point that I am going to be a millionaire. You may not have those kinds of aspirations. And if you aren't interested in kind of like getting your business going and moving forward directly, then maybe it's okay for you to kind of dance around in the divine feminine, enjoying kind of just getting to places in your own way. You know, and I applaud that. That's what I did for the first several years. But I also got really tired of doing that. And I got tired of not having enough money to pay my rent. I got tired of it. After 5 years of not knowing how to make money, the wake-up call I had was, yeah, I really love working with spirituality, but I don't know how to run a spiritual business. So I needed to learn. And once I learned and figured it out, I'm like, this shit was easy. If I had just known what steps to take, and then I had just had somebody to show me how to do it, I could have had this. I could have had what I have now. I could have had it years earlier, you know? So I would say, Jew, make a decision about what it is you want for yourself, and then take the path that takes you there. Okay. I hope that makes sense, darling. I hope that makes sense. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and shut down for now. Again, I thank you so much for joining me. It is a real pleasure to connect with you. It's a pleasure to feel your energy. And what a blessing that I got to actually meet Kim and Alicia. That was nice. Thank you all so much for showing up on the Zoom call, okay? All right, I'll go ahead and sign off for now, and we'll check in with you next week. We'll be back for our regular live stream on Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, bye for now, everybody. Bye.